Leatherback sea turtles are the largest of the world's turtles. Adults can be about the same length as a human, but due to their shape they can weigh 4 or 5 times as much as the average human being. As their name suggests, instead of a hard, bony shell on the outside, there's a more flexible, thick, leathery coating. For creatures that most humans will never encounter, these animals are both significantly affected by human activity, but also in turn their activities directly affect many people. This human interaction starts right from the beginning of their life. The turtles can be found almost all around the world, but the majority of the turtles' nesting sites are on equatorial regions on soft, sandy beaches on the mainland facing the open ocean, where they come out of the ocean to lay their eggs at night. Of course, many of these beaches are favoured by humans. This does mean that sometimes, accidentally, their nesting sites may be disturbed by humans, or alternatively, the eggs are collected to be eaten, which happens in some parts of the world in very large proportions. Each nest consists of about 100 eggs buried in the sand, which hatch a little over 2 months later. Baby turtles then emerge from the sand and then must make a dash, or at least their attempt for one, for the open ocean before being picked off by birds and other predators. And while some turtles are lost in this manner, that's just part of their natural life cycle and doesn't unduly impact upon their numbers. Once in the open ocean, the hatchlings are safer from immediate predation. At this stage they're relatively small, but live in the open oceans. Fully grown adults can dive down to more than 1 kilometre deep and range over thousands of kilometres, but very little is known of the early stages of their life in the ocean, as they're difficult to find. However, it is possible, like the loggerhead and green sea turtles, they spend some of their early development sheltering in and living off large floating seaweed called sargassum. Once they reach adulthood, however, there is no doubt about what they eat and the lengths they go down to track their food. As they've been tracked migrating across the oceans, rising towards the surface at night and diving deeper during the day, all following the path of their main food, which is jellyfish. The throat of the leatherback is actually lined with hundreds of backwardly pointing spines. It means that once a jellyfish is swallowed, there's no possible means of escape. Since jellyfish are mostly comprised of water, the turtles eat to have loads of them to sustain themselves. Their diet is almost exclusively jellyfish. What this does mean is that although other creatures like tunas, sharks and swordfish do eat jellyfish, a significant decline in adult leatherback numbers, as has happened over the last 30 years, will lead to an increase in the number of jellyfish, which has also happened over the same time. It's led to a dramatic increase in the number of people swimming in the oceans being stung by jellyfish. And more significantly, jellyfish also eat fish eggs and fish larvae, which can mean that an increase in jellyfish numbers is likely to directly impact on the numbers of adult fish in the oceans. In general, because of the size and armour of an adult leatherback, they face very few threats from predators, so would naturally live for quite a long time, and females can lay many clutches of eggs in a lifetime. However, the adults do face several threats from human activity. Jellyfish do closely resemble a large, transparent bag floating in the ocean. As such, clear plastic bags are often mistaken for jellyfish and can catastrophically block the digestive systems of turtles. In addition to this, they are also at risk from other ocean pollutants and toxins due to their diet can reach lethal concentrations, or alternatively being caught up in fishing nets in what's termed as bycatch. All this does go to show that you don't need to see another creature for it to impact upon your life, or the other way around. The leatherback sea turtles, really interesting creature.